Okay, so this is question 766 Toeplitz matrix, and I've attempted this question before a few months ago, and because I've taken a break from LeetCoding for a couple of months now, I wanted to start off with something I'm more familiar with and easier, and work my way to the harder questions. Okay, so let's look at this question now. Basically, this question is saying that given an m by n matrix, we return true if the matrix is Toeplitz, otherwise we return false. And then basically what defines a Toeplitz matrix is that if for all the diagonals, so like that and like that, if they have the same elements for all diagonals, we return true, and if not, in example 2, we return false. Okay, so I think it's straightforward enough. Oh, let's exit drawing mode for now. Okay. There's some constraints over here that we should take note of, and it's that the number of rows, which is denoted by m, is denoted by m, and then the columns are denoted by n, and for both m and n, they are between lengths 1 to 20, and the elements itself inside each square, it cannot be bigger than 99, and it's always positive. Yes. Okay, so intuitively, I feel like for this question, what we need to do is, as we traverse each of the rows in this matrix, 2D matrix, as we traverse the rows of this matrix, we want to check diagonally downwards and make sure that the element diagonally downwards is the same element as the one we're looking at. So for example, as we traverse through row 0, we just make sure that this is the same, this is the same, and this is the same, and then we finish the first iteration, like the outermost loop, and then we move on to the second iteration where we go on to loop through row 2, the next row basically, and check that the one immediately diagonally downwards is the same as the element we're looking at itself. So let's start off by writing the for loop for the outer for loop. Yeah. For I in range length of the matrix, take note that in this case, right, we do not want to iterate throughout we do not have to and do not want to iterate throughout all the rows and all the columns. We want to leave out the last one because if we are trying to compare the element with the one immediately diagonally downwards, right, if we continue traversing through to the last row, there will be an out of bounds error because there's nothing to compare with, right? So we want to stop at the second last row, which in this example is row 1. And same for the column, because there's nothing to compare with if we continue comparing the last column, so we want to leave that out as well. So let's go back to this mode. So we want a -1. This for loop iterates through the rows, and so we now want to traverse through like the columns of each row. So for J, it range length matrix 0 -1. First, we read the value of the element itself. Matrix ij we want to make sure that, oh, I forgot my if condition. If matrix I j not equals to matrix I plus 1, because I plus 1, j plus 1. The reason why we plus 1 is because we want to compare it with the one directly diagonally down. So we want to immediately break out of this whole thing and whole function and just return false directly, because it already defies the condition of it that it must have to be a Toeplitz matrix. So return false, return true at the end if everything passes and it hasn't returned false yet. Okay, so if we run code, it looks like it passed, and if we submit it, okay, great. That's all for this video. Thank you.